Where the hell's the paint? Hey everybody, so I'm here with my cases today and we're looking at something and I realized I think white isn't always the best. Let's take a look at one of these objects with black behind it and you'll sort of see the difference, especially when I light it. Like, look at that. And what does this mean? This means we've got to paint this whole case black and see what happens. So that's going to be the project. Let's see how it goes. Okay, let's talk about the process that we went through to do the case painting. So the first thing was preparing the case. Had to empty everything out, moved it outside, and did like Bondo on all the cracks and seams so that we can get a smooth sanding finish. That process took about a week. So at the end of that, everything was smooth, primered, bondoed, and then ready for the first pass of the actual black paint. Once the case was ready, we painted it with the black 4.0, just with a regular paintbrush. And it didn't turn out as black as I'd hoped. So got 4 medium-sized ones and 3 taller ones. This one I already did, one coat on. It seems pretty good. So yeah, just gonna do that. And then let's check the inside of the case. I think this is actually ready to do the roof on it. Okay. Wow, that is black. Look at that. Okay, case is gone. So yeah, the ceiling needs something. So I'm probably gonna have to lean this sucker down on the ground. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna do that. We saw some side-by-sides with regular black paint. I wasn't impressed. So I went online and I found Musuo black. And they said if you airbrush this, it would be super duper black. So I'd never airbrushed before. I wanted to try that out. All the super black, this thing, the blackest paint in the universe. I'm using this just as a base coat. And then we're gonna airbrush this crazy Musuo black, this stuff right here, over everything. And this should get us super black by the end of the day. So what actually ended up happening with the black 4.0 is we just used that as a base coat to paint the Musuo black on top of. The blackest paint in the world, it's not that black. And then we paint the really, really black stuff on top. The first thing I did is I bought an airbrush kit. It was about $99. Comes with, I didn't know anything about airbrushes, so it comes with one of these. And this is a 1mm or 0.1 millimeter, whatever. It's like super duper small. So it had everything, had a little compressor in this, and it worked really well for small objects. So I was able to paint, and it only paints like this much at a time, and just go very slowly, but it worked. Haha, here we go. Wow, this is cool. Okay, I think game on. More and more. I don't have a holder. The other one used to have a holder. What do I do? Now, when we compare the Musuo black to the black 4, the Musuo black is just way, way, way blacker, but super slow to paint, and you have to airbrush it. I wanted to go faster, and so I bought a bigger airbrush. The problem is the hoses didn't connect. Like this airbrush uses like this tiny hose, and the other airbrush uses a larger hose. And it took 2 kits to figure out how to even connect the darn things. And the larger airbrush didn't have the fine atomization that the smaller brush had. And so it would just sort of blast the paint on, and it wasn't as black. You really need a fine atomization and to go more carefully. Had to get this new compressor with like a fatter hose. The other this mini compressor has, let's see, this small hose, and so they like don't connect to the new. So then I had to get another airbrush, and now I knew something about the sizes to get. Yeah, 0.5 millimeters, 0.8 millimeters, and what I'm using is 0.3 millimeters. So 0.3 millimeters was great, has a slightly larger paint container, so I could work a little bit longer. I started diluting the paint, pour the Musuo black in. Okay, add some paint. This is so much more paint than the airbrush. And then I'd pour in some water and mix it up, and that worked okay. So we were able to actually get, this much and just go kind of quickly. Doing the whole case, I realized that, maybe the gases I was breathing weren't so good. So I looked it up online and it says not toxic. Anyway, I got a gas mask and I started using rubber gloves. And you can see this feels like something out of Breaking Bad.
We're gonna go to town and paint this again, okay?
So this whole process took maybe 3 weeks. I thought it would take 3 days. It probably took 3 weeks, about a week of preparation, a week of just downtime. Like I would order a part and it would be the wrong part, and I had to order another part, big pain in the butt. I think the result is really nice. Definitely really black. It definitely highlights the need for more particular and specific lighting in the case, and it makes certain items just unbelievably beautiful.
All right, look at that, guys. Wild. And it's only using like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights total. I mean, you can see this case, it's just plastered with lights. Look at that. Just, yeah. The rocks I really want to put on here are going to be like these ones. The purple looks so cool. Actually, so many rocks, but I need to get better risers. I think as a system, this is great.
So do I recommend that you do this? Like, absolutely not. This is crazy. I would never do this again. And I wouldn't even sell this case to somebody unless they, really begged me for it and understood what they were getting into. And I'd send them along like a brush like this to do touch-ups.
Cool. So I want to point out, when you touch this paint, check this out. Just a fingerprint will destroy the surface because it's got a really soft surface. It captures all the light. You rub it like this, yeah, it just gets destroyed. So this paint is super not durable. Something important to point out. Let's see. Just trying to get this in here. Tiny little touches will ruin the paint.
Anytime you place a rock, it's going to scratch the surface and you have to touch it up. When you place the items, you should be placing them with gloves. You don't want to get the black material on you, which does come off. You might even want to have this respirator mask for just placing the items in your case. So the maintenance of this makes it completely infeasible for like any mass manufacturing and just infeasible in general. Am I happy with the result? Yes. Okay, cool. So what's next?